I have a question for you. Do you want to dress like this, or do you want to dress like this? Do you want to put on a dress shirt, dress pants, and go into an office building, go to work? Or you want to dress like this and avoid going into an office and live the lifestyle of financial freedom that can be offered through dividend income, enjoying the cash flow, the passive income that pours in from dividends that can cover all of one's living expenses. Certainly that's the option that I enjoy more. Out of these two options, I enjoy the one of dressing down a bit, dressing more casually, and being able to enjoy the outdoors, take command of my life, and just really enjoy everything this world has to offer, while also giving back as well. Now, I promise you all, this video, it's actually going to be about AT&T, as the title describes. And I've been getting just a lot of questions recently about AT&T. The stock has plummeted. I did a video on this in the past, actually. I'm going to link in the description below. But it's been a while since that video, and subscribers are asking, hey, Ian, are you taking a second look at AT&T right now because of the attractive starting dividend yield? It's upwards of 6% now because the share price has just plummeted. Anyways, I'm going to get to that in a minute. Before I get to AT&T, though, I just got to share this story. I was running the other day. Oftentimes when I'm running, these ideas come to me. I love it. And I almost look at running as like a spiritual exercise. It's very spiritual for me. Anyways, these great ideas come, and I just had to share this idea or this topic because I think it's so core to dividend investing, investing for passive income. Anyways, I go to the bank. I go to the bank a few times a month. I deposit checks. Whenever I'm at the bank, I always hope I avoid this one teller. I hope I avoid her. Just seems like every time I actually get her, I don't avoid her, I get her every time. I don't know how it works because there's always a line and I'm waiting in line. I'm like, oh, I just hope I get that one or that one, not her. Anyways, I get her, and nice enough person, nothing against her, but she asks me this question every time and it just drives me nuts. The question is, hey, do you have the day off today? You have the day off from work? And I think the reason she asks me these questions is more often than not, I am blessed. In my job, I work in a casual work environment, so I am blessed. I can work and wear shirts like this or t-shirts. I don't have to dress up in the dressy shirts, but I have nothing against the dressy shirts either. I like that too. I like to mix it up, but most of the time, these days, especially in the summer months, I wear more casual attire like this because I like to mix working out into my daytime routine, and it just makes things easier, keeps me cool. I can get into some push-ups, keep healthy. Anyways, that's what I do, and I'm blessed to work in an environment like that where I'm able to do that. But anyways, I go in and I'm wearing something like this, and she asks me, you got the day off? You don't have to work? And it's just kind of like, I tell her every time, no, I actually have to work, and actually I just dress like this. And here's the deal. I think this society is so programmed. We are all so programmed from the way that we are brought up in the school system, the college system, just through friends, family, subconscious messages, media, everything out there, to believe in this one path, and where it's basically like, hey, you get out of bed, when you're an adult at least, you get out of bed, you put on the fancy dress shirt, you go into the office, you work in that office. And so when she sees someone coming in who's not wearing the fancy dress shirt, not wearing the work attire, wearing something more like an athletic attire on a weekday, I think she has nothing against me. She's not trying to upset me, but she asks this question every time because I think she's almost intrigued. Like, how could this guy come in like that? Doesn't he have to work like me? Everyone's got to work. We all work. And so the point of my channel, PPC Ian, is there is another solution. It involves a lot of work, a lot of dedication to get to the end goal, but the end goal is financial freedom. And obviously along the way, I'll link in the description below, there are micro goals. Each little goal, even generating $50 a month in passive income, that's huge passive income that can pay for a lot of stuff. Each month it could pay for a nice dinner out, it could pay for one's electric bill, for some gasoline for one's car, a lot of things. And so it's not just about financial freedom, but eventually that tends to be the goal of people who invest in dividends. And so dividends kind of break this mold. They break this belief that everyone has to dress in that fancy white shirt, has to go into the office, and if they come into the bank looking like this on a weekday, there must be something wrong, because it breaks the norms, just the beliefs out there. And I am here to say that there is another way, and it is dividends. And boy, I enjoy breaking the norms. I enjoy challenging things a bit here and generating passive income, but surely it takes a long while to get to the end goal. And so the moral of the story here is, when you get into dividend investing, and if you're already in dividend investing, you've probably come across this. A lot of people may think you're a little bit different. They may think you're a little bit weird or crazy. How could you possibly not have to put on the fancy shirt and go to work? How could you possibly have this income coming in that you do nothing for? How could you do that when I have to do this? When I've worked my whole life, everyone else has to work. How could you do that? And sometimes people might even question it in a negative way. And so the takeaway here is just to safeguard your dreams. I need to do the same. Safeguard the dreams. Keep them close. Don't lose track of them. Come here to the PPC Ian community. Participate in the comments below. That's what it's all about. We're supporting each other in our goals towards dividend income, passive income. But there will be people out there that they just don't get it. And they don't even mean wrong. They are so programmed by the way things have always been. They are so programmed by that to question and to almost dismiss this type of investment. And it kind of goes back to these growth investors too. When people think of investing, they think, hey, got to be a growth investor, got to buy low, sell high. But no, there is another way. It's called investing for dividends. Buying companies that increase the dividend over time, collecting the dividends, using them to pay bills, and along the way reinvesting the dividends if you don't need them yet to pay bills. And so there is a way, but it could be met with some criticism and just with skepticism and just with kind of a misunderstanding from other people out there, as evidenced by just the disbelief that someone could have on casual clothing during a normal workday. Anyways, a little bit of a rant here today, but I had to share this because it's just real world going on in real time, and I think it's just such a funny example. It always, I come home every time I go to the bank and I tell my wife, I'm like, oh gosh, I got her again. It happened again. I can't believe it. And it's just so odd. And so anyways, by the way, thank you for being here. It really means the world to me. 11,000 dividend investors strong. We are strong here. We support each other. This is PPC Ian. This channel is for you. If you are interested in passive income cash flow, please subscribe, like, comment. All of that means the world to me. It means the world to the other subscribers too, because we've got some great conversations going on. Anyways, I want to jump into AT&T. You want to know what I think about AT&T? Check out the description below. Watch my last video on AT&T. You could read it too, though, actually. If you didn't know, I invest time in each video I upload to write a detailed description. So if you want to preview or you want to read instead of watch, I got all the notes in there. It doesn't cover everything, but it covers a lot of the insights. Anyways, at my core, I just don't feel an affinity for AT&T. Sometimes when you're investing, you got to go with your gut. One of my subscribers here, another YouTuber who is doing a great job in personal finance, Brandon Beavis, shout out. Check out the description below. I'll link to his channel. He basically had a really good comment on the L Brands video that I just did. I'll link to that in the description below. This is my video review of L Brands, the company behind Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works too, but that's not as exciting. Anyways, he had this comment, Ian, or community, PPC Ian, I just don't have a good gut feeling towards L Brands. And that's how I feel about AT&T. I just don't have a good gut feeling. I have nothing against AT&T. I have no kind of feeling one way or another, but just in my gut, I don't have that affinity for AT&T the way I do with the other stocks I own. I've listed a lot of stocks here that I'm buying. I'll link in the description below to a video about 10 stocks I'm buying right now in 2018. Those stocks I'm buying in 2018, I like them. I feel good about them. I feel a connection to them. It's in my gut. Yeah, I don't just invest based on my gut instinct. That would be crazy. I look at the hard facts, the numbers. But when all is said and done, and I've looked at all the objective stuff, it becomes subjective a little bit. I'm marrying these companies. I have to own these companies forever. I want to own them generationally. I never want to sell. Why on earth would I buy something that I just don't feel right about? I just don't feel affinity to it. And it's not like they're a bad company or they've done anything bad. I'm just saying I just don't like them. I don't like it. And so I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it for that very reason. There are so many stocks out there to buy from. And I'm not trying to insult, by the way, anyone following me here, anyone watching, because I know more of you than not own this stock or want to own this stock, like this stock. I get people in the comments, Ian, you're wrong. Hey, I hope I am. And you know what? There's more than one right way to success. There's going to be people that are successful in AT&T, and I really wish you guys well. And I pray for your success. And and not that you need it. I really just wish everyone here the best. And so it's not for me, though. It's just not for me. And so there's just a universe of stocks out there. I don't need to own AT&T. It's just not for me. But that doesn't mean it's not for others. Others can't find success with it. It's not the right stock. It's just for me personally. Now, a related point here, in addition to Brandon's point. So Brandon, I love that point. Gut. Use your gut. Follow your gut. Not only in investing, but in life. Follow your gut. Do all the analysis. Look at all the numbers. But if it just feels wrong, follow your gut. That is a great point. Point number 2. If I don't like a stock, generally speaking, I don't care if it tanks. I'm not going to buy it. And so this is kind of the question people were asking. Ian, do you want to buy AT&T now that it's tanked? Has your opinion changed? No, it has not. When a stock tanks, it doesn't change my opinion. If I didn't like it before, I'm not going to like it when it tanks. There might be a rare case where I do a turnaround, but I generally am not a turnaround investor. I invest for dividends, for cash flow, forever. I want to hold forever, for decades and decades and decades. And generationally, if I just don't, if I'm not a turnaround investor, it just doesn't make sense for me. But someone who might have a shorter term time horizon, when AT&T, right now it's not, it's not too far down. Like let's say it was yielding 10%. It wasn't like 6 or so percent. It's 10%. Even at that point, I probably wouldn't buy it. Hey, there's companies in the telecom industry right now that yield pretty high amounts, and I just stay away from them. It's not an industry that I'm interested in. But this is the point. I have to love a stock. I have to marry a stock. If I don't like the stock and it goes down, I still don't like the stock. Yeah, it's kind of cool that it has a higher yield. And yeah, maybe it's an opportunity for more of a different type of investor, maybe a turnaround investor, but it's just not me. Now, in my earlier days, and I'll link in the description below, I did a video about my top 5 mistakes in investing. I kind of covered this in this video on one of the mortgage REITs that I owned back in the day. But I used to chase yield, like in my early days. I was like, hey, I got to get the stock with all the yield. But I've come to terms over the years that I don't have to get the stock with the highest starting yield. And sometimes it's so attractive to have that 6 or 7% starting yield. But look, if I can get something like a Procter & Gamble that's yielding right now in the 3.6% range, yeah, it's not 7% or 6 or 7% range, but it's over half of that amount. And so I think sometimes this is kind of a psychological investing trick that I've come up with, because it used to be that I felt like, oh, I'm not getting my 7%, I got to get it. But it's not that I'm not getting my 7%. It's that I'm getting 3.6% of the 7%. I'm more than halfway there if I just take the same money and buy Procter & Gamble. I found that this sounds simple enough, but it's just kind of a mental hack. It's helped me over the years with investing. It's helped me greatly with dividend investing, where I used to be way in my early days, way long ago. And I've been investing for over 20 years now in dividend stocks. Last 10 or so years, I've been really going heavy in it, just because those have been the years where my earning potential has been there. In the earlier years, I was a student. I was in high school for some of the years, college for others, and just wasn't generating the kind of income to do a huge amount of investing. But I was learning all those years, and I was placing capital from the summer jobs that I had and such. But back in those earlier days, I chased the yield, and in my mind, I kind of felt like, hey, I got to get this 7%, because if I don't get it, it was kind of like an all or nothing. I felt like, well, if I don't get the 7, I'm left with nothing, and I'm not going to get my dividends. But it's not the case. It's not all or nothing. It's 7% or Why not go with something like a Southern company? It's yielding like 5%. Okay, I don't get my 7, but I get 5. That's most of the way there. Or I don't get my 7, but I do my Procter & Gamble at the 3.6. That's most of the way there, or over half of the way there. And so it's just that different way of looking at it. Maybe this is obvious to everyone watching, but it wasn't always obvious for me. Just to look at it that way, it makes me feel better about following my gut, following my logic, and doing what's right for my portfolio. So that's where I'm at with AT&T. My philosophy has not changed. All of the reasons in my original video still stand true. I will link in the description below so you can all check that out. And I hope you enjoy that video, but I hope you enjoy this one too. And like I said, if certain people are loading up, I see it in the comments. I don't think they're, I cannot speak for anyone other than myself. I am sharing my personal journey here. I'm sharing what works for me. I'm very convinced in my personal strategy. I'm very stubborn when I like or don't like something. Very stubborn in that way. You won't change my opinion, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't work for other people. And so again, what I want to come back to is I wish all of you AT&T investors all the best. And like I said, I'm praying for you. I'm praying that you get huge returns, huge passive income, life-changing passive income. That's what I want. But again, I'm just trying to share this example because maybe you love AT&T, but maybe there's another stock you were looking at. Maybe you're kind of looking at like L Brands and you're like, I really like that L Brands, but it just doesn't feel right. Well, after you've looked at everything, maybe it's good to follow one's gut instincts. That's what I do a lot of the time. Or maybe it's something else. Like I'll give you another example. Stock that I own, a General Mills. This is one that's just in the gutter. It's came down. I bought it in 2018. I love it. I like the company. Yeah, I bought this stock when it went down because it had such a high starting yield and it was an attractive yield. But this is the kind of company that I would buy at any starting yield. I like the company. I like the industry. I wanted more exposure to food. I have a lot of consumer non-cyclical. I have a lot of beverage, but I didn't have quite as much food. And so I wanted that exposure. It worked for me. I bought it when it went down. But again, it's a stock that I would have felt good buying at any level. But certainly I took advantage of the dip to buy at a good price. And so I love buying dividend stocks when they correct. That's a great time to buy dividend stocks because one can get better value for the money that they're investing. That being said, I have to like something to buy it when it corrects. But if it corrects and I don't like it to begin with, the correction alone is not reason to buy it. For me, the company always trumps the entry point. I have to like the company. The entry point is the icing on the cake. If I can get a good entry point like I did with General Mills, icing on the cake. So before I leave today, just in terms of full disclosure, I own some of the companies that I mentioned today. I am long. I own Procter & Gamble, ticker symbol PG, and also General Mills, ticker symbol GIS. I own those two stocks in my personal stock portfolio. Also, before I leave today, just a friendly disclaimer. I am not a licensed investment advisor. In today's video, it is not investment advice. Today's video, it's just for your fun and entertainment. I'm just sharing my personal journey here on YouTube for fun. If you're going to go out and invest in the stock market or anywhere else, please consult a licensed financial advisor first. Hey, I want to thank everyone again. 11,000 already. It feels like I just did the video on 10,000. I'll link to that in the description below. We're getting some traction here, and I'm just blessed. I thank you. If you have questions, comments, please put them below. It means the world to me. I look at all of them. I'll say I'm not typing as many detailed responses as I was before just because the amount of comments, it's getting there where I'm having trouble keeping up. But I am reading all of them. I try to add detailed responses to a lot of them. And even if I don't respond to your comment, I will tend to like all of the comments, and I'm taking note of them. So even if I'm not responding, keep commenting, because I'm writing down notes on a lot of these comments and I'm queuing them up for future videos. And the more comments I see on a particular topic, the more likely I am to do that video. So thank you. Thank you for the community, and just congratulations to all of us. 11,000 of us in one place, all celebrating this idea of dividend income, all passionate and moving towards this goal of financial freedom, or even partial financial freedom. We're all improving our lives each and every day, each and every month, by generating a little bit more of passive income each purchase at a time. And so it's great to have us all in one place. I'm just so thrilled. Hey, Thank you again, and I will see you all in the next dividend investing video.